The history of Gorl World. From weight loss videos to an internet empire. 2013. Amberlynn Reid begins uploading videos to YouTube. Her channel focuses on weight loss, personal goals, and everyday life. At first, her content looks like countless other video diaries. She discusses her struggles, shares meals, and promises to make healthier choices. There is no indication that these ordinary uploads will eventually become the foundation of an entire online subculture. But they do. 2014 through 2015, Amberlynn continues documenting her life while living with her girlfriend, Crystal. Viewers begin noticing familiar patterns. A new diet starts with enthusiasm. Progress slows. The plan changes. Another promise follows. For some people, these videos remain relatable accounts of a difficult journey. For others, the repeated cycle becomes the main attraction. Instead of simply watching individual uploads, viewers begin tracking what Amberlynn says over time and comparing new claims with older videos. The audience is no longer just watching a weight loss journey. It is building a record. 2015 through 2017. Amberlynn enters a relationship with Destiny. This period becomes one of the defining early chapters in Gorl World history. Videos feature meals, shopping trips, household routines, relationship dynamics, and everyday disagreements. What might otherwise seem unremarkable becomes compelling because viewers are watching a story unfold over months and years. The relationship eventually ends, but the footage remains. Later audiences revisit these videos, searching for warning signs, contradictions, and evidence that earlier viewers may have missed. The Destiny era establishes a pattern that will shape Gorl World for years. Relationships become chapters, former partners become recurring characters, and ordinary personal moments become material for public interpretation. Around 2016 through 2018, another creator, Chantal, better known as Foodie Beauty, develops an audience through food videos, personal stories, and discussions about her life. Her channel includes eating videos, conversations about weight, and increasingly personal accounts of relationships and daily struggles. Amberlynn and Chantal are different people with different backgrounds, but viewers begin grouping them together. Both share highly personal content. Both attract criticism over repeated promises and changing explanations. And both inspire audiences that keep watching even when they claim to be frustrated. Gorl World begins expanding beyond one creator. It becomes a shared environment. 2017, Amberlynn begins a relationship with Becky. This relationship introduces new settings, additional friends, and a larger supporting cast. Roommates and acquaintances appear in videos. Viewers learn their personalities, recognize their voices, and follow changing household dynamics. The channel begins to resemble a long-running reality series. There are main characters, side characters, inside jokes, arguments, reconciliations, and developments that carry over from one episode to the next. But unlike traditional reality television, there is no production company managing the story. There are only cameras, uploads, and an audience ready to analyze everything. 2018 through 2019, reaction channels become a major part of the community. These creators watch Amberlynn and Foodie Beauty, then offer their own commentary. Some claim they are holding the original creators accountable. Some focus on humor. Some compare current statements with older footage. Others provide daily summaries for viewers who do not want to watch the original channels directly. A new relationship forms between the original creators and the people covering them. The creators generate material, the reactors interpret it. The audience watches both. Gorl World is no longer just about Amberlynn and Foodie Beauty. It is also about the growing number of people building their own channels around them. 2019. The community develops its own language. Nicknames, repeated phrases, old controversies, and familiar jokes become part of everyday conversation. People who know the references feel like insiders. People who do not understand them have to catch up. At this point, Gorl World functions less like a casual audience and more like a recognizable internet subculture. It has its own vocabulary, its own shared history, and its own understanding of who belongs. 2020. Amberlynn publicly discusses serious medical problems, including a cancer diagnosis and treatment. The situation forces viewers to confront an uncomfortable question. What happens when a community built around criticism and entertainment becomes deeply invested in someone's real medical crisis? Some people respond with sympathy. Others continue questioning her statements and decisions. And some commentary channels struggle to decide whether continuing their usual coverage is appropriate. The issue is bigger than Amberlynn herself. Gorl World must confront the possibility that real suffering has become part of its entertainment model. 2020 through 2021. Live streaming changes the pace of the community. Instead of waiting for edited videos, viewers can watch events unfold in real time. Emotional conversations, disagreements, unexpected confessions, and relationship tension become immediate public experiences. Commentary channels respond with live reactions, clipped highlights, and rapid recaps. The distance between the audience and the creators grows smaller. Viewers are no longer just watching a story after it happens. They are present while it is happening. Sometimes they influence it, sometimes they escalate it, and sometimes they become part of it. 2021. Amberlynn and Becky end their relationship. The breakup becomes a major event across Gorl World. Viewers revisit years of footage and reinterpret conversations, arguments, and moments that once seemed routine. Live stream discussions add new layers to the story. Commentary channels devote hours to the breakup, the aftermath, and competing explanations for what went wrong. A private relationship becomes a public event with an audience of spectators, analysts, defenders, and critics. The breakup shows how completely Gorl World has transformed personal lives into serialized entertainment. Also in 2021, Foodie Beauty begins a relationship with Nader. The relationship quickly becomes one of the most discussed storylines in the community. Live streams, arguments, reconciliations, conflicting accounts, and audience speculation create a nearly constant cycle of new developments. Viewers debate what is true, who is responsible, and whether the relationship should continue. Commentary channels build entire schedules around the latest updates. For Foodie Beauty's side of Gorl World, the Nader era marks a major shift. The content becomes more immediate, more volatile, and more dependent on relationship drama. 2021 through 2023. Following her breakup with Becky, Amberlynn enters another relationship. Her new partner maintains more privacy than previous girlfriends and becomes known primarily through nicknames used by the community. The lack of visible information does not reduce audience interest. It increases it. Viewers speculate about the partner's identity, the relationship's dynamics, and what might be happening outside the camera's view. Gorl World demonstrates one of its defining characteristics. When information disappears, speculation rushes in to replace it. 2022. Gorl World becomes a clearly recognizable category of internet entertainment. By this point, it has dedicated reaction channels, established personalities, podcasts, live stream communities, archival pages, and a growing collection of recurring storylines. The original creators still provide the raw material, but the surrounding community now has its own structure and identity. People can become deeply involved in Gorl World without ever watching an original Amberlynn or Foodie Beauty video. They can follow the reactors instead, or the live stream summaries, or the channels dedicated to documenting the community's history. Gorl World has become an ecosystem. Late 2022, Foodie Beauty introduces Salah and enters a new period connected to Kuwait and marriage. The change in location, relationship status, and public presentation dramatically alters her content. Viewers respond with questions about the relationship, her future, cultural differences, and whether this new chapter represents genuine change. For reaction channels, the Kuwait era introduces an entirely different setting and a new collection of controversies. But the basic structure remains familiar. A personal development becomes public content. The public content becomes commentary. and the commentary becomes its own ongoing story. 2022 through 2023. Documentary-style channels begin packaging years of Girl World history into longer, more organized productions. Creators such as Mr. Snowflake present edited timelines, relationship histories, and detailed examinations of older footage. These videos make the community more accessible to newcomers. A person no longer has to watch years of original uploads to understand the major storylines. Someone else has already assembled the footage, organized the events, and offered an interpretation. This development gives documentary creators significant influence. They are not simply recording the community's history. They are deciding how that history will be told. 2023. Former partners and people who appeared in earlier videos begin receiving greater attention when they share their own accounts. Old footage is reconsidered, past relationships are reevaluated, and viewers compare what the original creators said with what other participants claim happened. This creates a more complicated historical record. There is no longer one central version of events. There are competing narratives, selective memories, disputed allegations, and audiences choosing which accounts they believe. The story expands beyond the people who originally uploaded it. 2023 through 2024. The reaction community begins turning inward. As commentary channels grow, conflicts between reactors become stories of their own. Viewers debate who is fair, who exaggerates, who is exploiting the situation, and who has become too personally invested. Some reactors accuse other reactors of dishonesty, hypocrisy, or crossing ethical boundaries. Audience loyalties form around individual commentators. The people covering Girl World are no longer standing outside it. They are now part of the same system they claim to observe. 2024. New relationships, disputed timelines, screenshots, and supposed insider information generate another wave of attention around Amberlynn. The community increasingly behaves like a crowdsourced investigation. Viewers compare details, archive deleted material, analyze statements, and attempt to piece together stories from incomplete or conflicting information. Sometimes this produces useful context. Other times it encourages speculation that goes far beyond what can actually be confirmed. The distinction between documentation and surveillance becomes increasingly difficult to ignore. 2024 through 2025. More people begin questioning whether Girl World has become fundamentally exploitative. Supporters of reaction channels argue that commentary provides accountability and exposes behavior the original creators would rather avoid discussing. Critics argue that many reactors depend financially on the continued struggles, instability, and public humiliation of the people they cover. That creates an uncomfortable question. If the subjects genuinely improved, became healthier, or stopped creating controversy, what would happen to the channels built around criticizing them? The original creators need attention, the reactors need material, and the audience keeps both sides profitable. 2025. Former partners revisit old conflicts, including disagreements about finances, living arrangements, and the aftermath of past relationships. These renewed discussions show that Girl World rarely allows a storyline to remain finished. A breakup from years earlier can become relevant again. An old clip can resurface. A former partner can introduce a new account, and an entire audience can return to an argument it thought was already settled. In Girl World, the past is never really past. It is archived, waiting for the next upload. 2025 through 2026. Platform rules, monetization, removed videos, and alternative streaming services become increasingly important parts of the conversation. The financial structure underneath Girl World becomes easier to see. Original creators rely on views, memberships, donations, and continued audience attention. Reaction channels rely on fresh controversies and recognizable personalities. Both are affected when platforms change their policies or enforce existing rules. The drama is no longer just personal. It is economic. 2026. Girl World exists as a complete attention economy. It includes original creators formed from partners, reaction channels, documentary producers, live stream audiences, clip accounts, online communities, and people who specialize in tracking its history. Amberlynn Reid and Foodie Beauty remain central figures, but the larger ecosystem now produces its own personalities, rivalries, controversies, and financial incentives. What began as people documenting their lives has evolved into an entire industry built around watching those lives, interpreting every development, and arguing over who deserves the blame. And the biggest question may no longer be what the original creators are doing. The biggest question is what happens when thousands of people become financially and emotionally invested in making sure the story never ends.